Hi, welcome back to whatever day this is. This might be a fusion of 2 days. This is really just an update to just say what I've done the past couple of days regarding like my product research because I've really started to hone in on the car idea. Kind of just looking through like the HVAC systems for each of the cars, specifically the Acura cars because that's the ones that my parents own. So it's just good to have a good like base model to see how the HVAC systems work as I need to advocate and then navigate the HVAC like the HVAC system. And so I guess this is just an update video just to share what I've learned. Now I can go deeper into it once I start building the models, and I'll probably like post a video of like how I use like ChatGPT, and also yeah, really just ChatGPT just to really hone in on what ideas are feasible and what ideas are not, because that's a one really good usage of ChatGPT and other like LLMs, which like or specific LLMs that like are able to like navigate the web because it's a very easy way to research and just filter down info. And they also just have like it's also just a good way to like like conversate and just like boil down ideas. And so I'll share a little bit of that in this video, but I'll go deeper into that in in another video as well. But without further ado, let's start explaining. Okay, so anyways, the entire point of the idea, one, is to filter out air, sorry, exhaust air out of the car cabin when the car is off. Okay, and so there's a couple of issues with that, or a couple of problems that I need to address. So the first is that we need to make sure that we retain the integrity of the HVAC system. And so that being said, I'll try and show a picture here in a second. But the HVAC system works in a couple of ways, or like works in one major way, right? Air has to enter the HVAC system somehow, and usually those air intake, we'll call them vents, for example, or like vents for like lack of better words, are at the front of the car, underneath, like underneath the windshield wipers. It's like kind of underneath the hood of the car. So like the little tiny vents. So sometimes they're there and sometimes they're in other places, and that's something that's kind of interesting. So, for example, um, let me try and screen share something. Let's see. Oh, cool. And I'll show car intake vents for HVAC. Take a look at them. Right here. This is a really good example. So you can see like the car intake vents are underneath the windshield wipers. Now, why is this an issue? Okay, one which is quite obvious is that like there's not a lot of space to work with, which is kind of an issue, right? Especially when I'm building this on my own. That's something I want to take into mind. And number two, which completely rules out this idea entirely, is that according to chat, it can actually damage the HVAC system like irreversibly if I want to exhaust air out, because the entire point of the vents is to suck air in, right? And so if we reverse that, we run the risk of hurting the integrity of the HVAC system. So that's something I don't want to place my product on. So we know that we cannot use those front vents, right? But what we did learn is that let's go back. What we did learn is that there are other vents, right? Because air, like what goes in, like since air goes in, right? Air must also have, or air must also exit the car, and so those occur on the exterior vents on the rear of the cabin. So let me just fix the screen a little bit. Okay, yeah. So on the rear of the cabin. The issue that I found is that on different cars, these vents are on different places. They look different. They're different sizes, so it's very much different. So for the time being, I'm going to try and find this vent on like the Acura cars that are in my driveway, like my parents' cars, and try and work around build a product for that. Because I don't want to get too hung up on trying to build a universal model when I need to figure out if the first like if one model works like before I can go to the universal model. If that makes sense. One of the issues is that I was laying down on the driveway looking underneath the cars and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find these rear cabin exhaust like pressure relief vents. So that might be an issue. So I'll let you know in the next couple of days if I can spot it. And if I do, that's really nice. And another issue that I kind of thought of is that with if these rear vents are on like the bottom parts, like on like underneath the bumper, that poses an issue on how we're supposed to get an energy source when the car's off, right? Because Like, where are we supposed to put the solar panels? Where are we supposed to put any sort of energy source without, you know, without impeding on the car's ability to function, and just like like make it as easy as possible to be installed. That's also very important. So that's also something we need to brainstorm. So that's mainly what I've thought of right now. There will be a couple more. There'll probably be a couple more like revisions of this idea, but I have a decent trajectory of where I want to build this product. I'll probably be targeting the exhaust rear vents that are used for pressure release. And the way it works is that whenever like too much air is intook by the HVAC system, the pressure of the cabin will obviously go up, and then these exterior like pressure relief valves will open up, and then bang, you're good. So, so I might need to figure out how to kind of trick these pressure valves into opening even when the pressure inside the cabin is not changing. So that's something I also need to think about. But the assumption is that if the pressure drops inside the cabin, then the front HVAC vents that we can't use will actually start sucking air in. Maybe that could work, but we'll do a little bit more research to figure that out. So, but now I have an idea of what or how the mechanism can work. So let's go ahead and go off of that. Um, that's mainly what I have for now. I've also been doing a couple of, or I've been going back into Fusion. As you can see, I have quite a bit of way to go, just to make sure, I learn Fusion all over again. But that's probably what I'll be doing for the next couple of days. Even though it's not like exactly like I'm working on the project, it's still like honing in my skills just to make sure I can do something for the project. Because I will try and get my hands on a 3D printer with some sort of material. It doesn't have to be the greatest material in the world, but I just need some sort of 3D printer to build the or to like to build to 3D print a device for the exact dimensions. Good news is that the solar panels that I extracted from the product from the Amazon product, from the last videos, those solar panels and those fans will be very useful. I looked around with like the car, and I figured out that those solar panels, especially with those size and their shape, especially with the frame, are able to be attached like directly onto the car, almost like in any place. The only issue is connecting that power source to the actual device. So that's something I'll need to brainstorm. But that's really good news. That means I don't have to go out and try and figure out how to like make a manual solar panel. Oh, it also brings up another idea I just had. The issue is that if they're on the underside of the bumper, like the device has to live on the underside of the bumper where the exterior pressure relief valves are, or pressure relief vents are, then the solar panel will have to be situated somewhere like on the top of the car or on the side of the car. The issue with the side of the car is that if this like for some reason, actually for very much reason, if the car is positioned in a way where like the sun is coming like let's say like where the light is like where my light is here, right? But the device is like solar panels on this side, well, there you go. You have a pretty big issue, right? So that's something we need to figure out as well. Um, so let me make some goals for myself. The next couple of days, I'm gonna go ahead and finish these tutorials. Um, just go ahead and start like maybe like making a CAD model of what I want to do. Maybe before I even make the CAD model, I'm gonna do some drawings just on paper, just sketch it out, see what I need to do. Um, I'll also maybe draw some like wiring diagrams because I just want to see I just want to see like how complex it's going to be. It's not going to be too complex, but I just need to figure out where like how I'm going to get this energy source down because that's honestly like it's a pretty big issue that I need to tackle. But it's definitely doable. I'm proud of that. So we have a definite trajectory. So that's just the update I wanted to give. We've confirmed what the project's going to be. We've confirmed like I guess the next couple of steps for this project. So we'll go ahead and undergo that. Unfortunately, the Arduino set still hasn't arrived. I don't know why, but I'll probably check. Hopefully, it comes in the next couple of days. We'll see. But without that, regardless, even if it doesn't come for some reason in the next couple of weeks, next couple of days, we can do everything else. I like the Arduino coding because like that code is going to stay the same no matter what, right? Um, or hopefully no matter, or like, hopefully relatively the same. So it's good to get started on that anyways. So we can do that anyway. So we have something to work on no matter what. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, the Edmonton Oilers lost Stanley Cup Finals, so I'm very sad. That's why my hair is not orange. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's currently 12:18. I gotta eat dinner. But yeah, we have a good trajectory going. Pretty excited. Let's do this. See you in the next video.